Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic evening and fantastic night's rest. I absolutely did not. Mine was brutal. Like, oh my god. Man, oh man. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff done now, thankfully. A lot of work. I can't wait to show you guys what I'm working on, but I can't in that regard. However, today we're just gonna hang out and chill and have a good old time. Again, there's no asterisk. No asterisk there, Abysmal. I don't know why you've got an asterisk. Gross. Yeah, I got a lot of productive stuff done. Wish I could show you guys that productive stuff now, but I can't. So we'll have to wait on that. But good news is that things are coming along, and I am just super fucking tired. I was up and down, up and down, up and down. When I got up, I would just do a little bit more work and go right back to sleep. And it was only right there at the very end, of course. Like 7:50, I finally got to sleep. So I got maybe 2 hours of sleep at the end. It was not good. Very rough night. That's okay. That is okay. Well, today, again, we're just gonna hang out and do some talks and chatting. I'm gonna try to work on some stuff as well today while we're here. Already got that. I'm curious how we make another one of these. So, here is the map. Oh, well, nice. Thanks for spoiling on that one. I keep forgetting. Stupid me. Stupid me. Oh, hopefully if you don't pause for that and read that, that's okay. Here's the map of the island where the book takes place in. Yeah, unfortunately, I already said in the Discord, but I made the classic mistake. I started it like normal, and then I realized, oh, I didn't put it based on the north facing. It's easy to forget that when you get stuck into it, and you're just like, yeah, here we go. We're good to go. As you can see, you can zoom all the way in. Nice and close. There we go. There's the entire kingdom of Drakor right there at the start of the book. And these are I actually should change these out. I should change these two out. Because this should be towns that become cities later, but still. It's called Incarnate. So we've got Drakor here. We got Stalis to the south west. We've got Lagerall south, Garrison southeast, Stormrend to the east, and then Vitaria to the northeast. Vitaria's the one I always had trouble with remembering what the name was. All the rest of them were easy peasy. But that's because we were writing about them a lot. Vitaria doesn't get mentioned much because Vitaria is actually doesn't have that easy of an access because the Saharidan is here. So Saharidan is that massive swamp, and I do mean massive. This island is enormous. So, like this little bit here, between the roadways, from the road here through the forest to get to Everwood. This is Everwood. This is the Tower of Truth later on. These are individual kingdoms. Again, this is the kingdom capital of Stalis. Stavzig is Stalis' capital. And you have Hoderick, which is Lageral's capital. We have Ironhall, which is Garridan's capital. Stormbreak is Stormren's. And Visir is Vitaria's capital. Yeah, to give an idea how big this is. So this is the road. This is the pathway they'll take through the old forest. So depending on who it is, they have different names for it. Because this is where the fire, right? The big wall of fire was all the way through and around. Goes right through here and came around. So, to get through here, this is like half a day's journey. This is 6 hours or so. Just going through this forest. Granted, you got to keep in mind time. It's not like a car. They don't have vehicles, right? It's like 6 hours to get through this forest path to get to Everwood here. So this island, with that in mind, with that little bit there being 6 hours, you can see how massive this island actually is. Think of it like Japan, right? Only this island is bigger. So it's a big island nation. That's how you can have 6 kingdoms on here comfortably, air quotes. But you have 6 different kingdoms here, and all of them are all of them have their own identities, all of them have their own laws and rules and everything. I think today what I want to do is... Ooh, can we do this? Hang on, if we can do this, that'd be nice. View scene from region. I don't know what that means. I don't know how long it has to be. How big it has to be. Alright. I've never used Incarnate beyond this, so I'm trying to figure out where do I go to work on a new one. Let's figure we can do let's do Fort Eppin scale today. Because we've talked about it in the past. And so I can show we can make Fort Eppin scale real quick. We'll have to make sure we properly have it oriented right. Give me a second. I'm sorry, I'm having my breakfast because, again, I woke up like now. Oh. Okay. How do we do this? That's notation. Yeah, you can make all different kinds of maps. I'm trying to work on a, instead of this being a big world map, I want to make a location map, a regional map. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Yep, there's sci-fi stuff with it. You could make a galaxy map. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. This is how we do it. Put that in the book. Thank you. Alright, so there's Averall. I'll show that real quick. So here's Averall. We can just go here. I don't know how to get back to this thing, but let me just create new map. And that's what you can do. See? Sci-fi battle maps, watercolors, parchment worlds, fantasy regionals, watercolor cities. So I did fantasy world and fantasy battle maps. So yeah. Alright, what I think we're going to try and do, let's try and do this watercolor cities. Right? And so you can see this is kind of the different types of maps you can make. I guess we could do fantasy regional. I don't know, I kind of like the isometric point of view on this one. You know? Let's see what we got here. A lot of RAM and video memory may not work on every system. In some cases, it may lead to browser tab crashing, losing unsaved work. Have you please use the recommended editing resolution 2K. Okay, well I'm going to try it. Hell with it, we're going to try it. I understand. No, fuck it. Alright, I can't bring myself to. Let's do it. Create map. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, we're going to add in the entire thing. Again, we're making the Star Fort. Alright, let's see. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, there's 6 of them. Wow, that's really helpful, actually. That's very handy. Okay. So when you use Incarnate, if you don't subscribe to it, right, you get the core. This is it. This is the stuff you'll get to use, the core stuff. And again, that depends on what type of map you're going with, right? Like, this is what you have access to if you do the map itself with core. You can do a lot of stuff. So all the core stuff is free. Then if you want to go from there, you use other stuff. But here you go, see? I wonder if sci-fi is free at all. Ooh, no. Sci-fi, you'd probably need to do that. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff, though. Yeah. No, it's not one time, it's a subscription. But they have a year-long subscription that's $25. So that's what two what would that be? It's $250 if it was 10 months. But we need a bit more. So like 170 something. Yeah, chat's working. I see what the problem is. Hang on. Your chat in particular. See? I have to click this, and now your chat will probably show up properly like it's supposed to. Fucking Twitch. Oh! It won't, because Twitch, it's fucking Twitch. Twitch is the only one that does this. I don't know why. But Twitch will delay sending out its input if it's not the last thing in. Unfortunately, because I'm using this, you're not going to be the last thing in. So, fuck. Alright, anyways. Let's see. You don't have any dwarven walls? Make me sad. Oh, Noodle Dragon. Oh, there's two of them. Oh, nice. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this stuff will work. Hey, Tentacle Dude. We're gonna work on Fort Eben scale today. Along with other stuff. But yeah, we're gonna do Fort Eben scale today. I actually have a lot of dragon choice. That's weird. Weird to me. Oh, why is that, Baron? Check some of the other stuff we got. We shouldn't need any mountains. This is just going to be all Fort Eben scale today. That's pretty good. You know, you know what I'm going to do? Because yours is going to be delayed like this. So, let's pull you over. There we go. Yeah, how you doing, Tentacle Dude? Take that with us. I can actually use it, though. How small can we get this? Not very. This size is pretty poop, isn't it? I guess it wants you to be real up close, right? So let's do watercolor cities instead. Let's do that. Okay. Let's open our catalog here. That will work. Nice. Yeah, the massive castle walls will be nice. I'm not a kobold. There's no kobolds in this room. This is pretty fucking nice though. I like these ghost towns. Gothic horror. Okay. We could probably use this, the modular buildings thing, as well. Winter is coming. That's something, though I'm kind of late to the topic. You think after the absolute flops of Concord and Dustborn, we're going to see the pendulum shift faster? And there's got to be investors noticing the trends of being preachy like that are completely unsustainable, right? Even in the face of SBI's gaslighting techniques. I mean, yeah, you've already had a lot of like coups and everything and overthrows. So, yeah, I'd say so. Maybe imposing wall would be better. Yeah, imposing wall. So I'm going to do this just so we have this set for us. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Look how, look at the size instead. So for now, let's do this. We need to come in. Do subtract. Down to 3 smoothness. Okay. How close can we get? Alright, good. Yeah, nice. We can do it real nice. Okay. This is not a game. This is the map system incarnate. I was already showing the map where the island takes place. I figured today we'll do Fort Evans scale. And this whole nice map of what it looks like. And finish off my cereal. Oh, God. Have you seen the Witchfire released on Steam? I vaguely remember you were interested in that game. There was something that caused me not to look at it, though. Something, I can't remember what it was, though. But Chris had actually told me about it again. And I was like, yeah, you know, that was that thing. Okay. Well, first off, hang on a second. I want the regional thing. So I'm going to just pop that down so we have that recently used. Fantasy World. Compass. I want to actually put that in right now. Okay. Meanwhile, let's take you. Delete. Alright. There we go. We got our compass rose in. I'm going to do north facing already off the bat. Thankfully, this one's a lot easier for north facing as is. Okay. I need to do 20? That should work, right? Yeah. So we're just going to make this simple on me. I'm just going to do Yoink, 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 yoink. Okay, now let's clean it up. Let's make it look like an actual thing, right? So, down. Out. Out. Straight across. So that's too far, so let's pull it here. Okay. Down. And again, we can just do this, right, to refill back in. So, you know what I mean? This is what we're going to do. We're just going to do this to kind of carve in what we need. And then I will do this to refill. So this leg's looking pretty good. This leg's still a bit rough. Do this. Oh my goodness. No, I don't remember. I don't remember, like, if it was Epic exclusive, maybe, or, like, what they did. I don't remember. There was something, though, that made me go, like, ugh, right? But I can't remember what it was. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, so that's pretty neat, though. There's a polygon feature there. Okay. There. Cut it off here. Man, I wish I had a thing. Hang on a second. Can I, No. Alright, that's not helpful. Sorry, to view grid? I think this might be the way to do it so I can keep, like, a thing, right? So that could be our initial line. That'll work. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so basically 7. Yeah, we're going to redo the star for it. We're going to redo it here and incarnate. Okay. So right up through here. The first one. Probably up to this tile, right? I mean, it won't be perfect, but essentially what I want to do is I want to get this set up because we're going to need to go bigger and bigger and bigger. Welcome, Dreadnought. Welcome. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can do proper D&D ones. Again, it just depends on what system you set. Seems too wide. Damn. Okay, we can fix that then. We can just make it a little bit steeper. Oh my goodness sakes. This is difficult to make a star thing. I wish we could actually do it. Wish there was a stamp. Oh, damn. Wish there was a stamp tool so I could do this properly. Damn. Just cannot get this angle right. Oh, that's too down. That's down again. Jesus Christ. There we go. That's much better. Okay. Oh. The legs are so long. The legs are so long. Fuck. Wish there was like a stamp tool or something I'd stamp down real quick. Hang on a second. Let's see if there's like a star anywhere. Oh, cancel. Star with a circle? No. That'd be even worse. I don't think we have a star or anything anywhere. I'm trying to tinker a bit with world building myself. Are there any pitfalls I should look out for? Well, if we ignore the fact of drawing is hard. Pitfalls. One of the biggest pitfalls is how are your people kept fed, right? So I can do this to. There we go. Again, we already have a thing there, but I can kind of use this as like a tool. But how do your people get food? What are they eating? Right? What are they What are they consuming for sustenance? How are they getting their food? Start from the ground up. Don't have to think about all the high level stuff. You can think of the low level stuff. It's why, like I said, one of my favorite writing techniques is what does the local blacksmith's life look like, right? What does it look like to the local blacksmith? So I'm gonna make it up a bit taller. Let's do it like there instead. Oh, shit. Okay. And we'll fill this in when we can. These legs, I need to get these legs narrower. Hold on. Yeah, I think that looks good for that side. We just need to fix this side now. Oh no, it doesn't look good. I need to fatten this a bit. Hold on. There we go. Because that's got to be our middle point. Clean this up. Okay. That's fine. You can fix it. This one's a bit more anemic. Hold on. And angle them out more. It doesn't help that this should be right here. So we should be here. Okay. We're probably gonna have to do this as good enough for government work, right? All right. Yep. That's good enough for government work. Fucking hell. Yeah, so one of the best things to start with for me is to start with what do people eat, right? What do people do for their daily lives? How do they get their food? What does daily life look like for a citizen of your little town, right? It's a good way to go from there. And the reason I'm going to do that is because everything will fall into place once you start thinking of those kind of basics, right? Everything starts to kind of fit together like a little puzzle. the star. So I know people will be like, oh, that's pretty literal for a star fort. It's like, give me a second. It's not that literal. There's quite a bit more to it than this. We just had to get the baseline in. I want to start with the center of the fort, work our way out. This is a multi-ringed star fort. That one went in nice and smooth. Damn. I couldn't get that like all the rest of them. Okay, so yeah, this one's a little anemic. So let's... There's a little bit more. Okay, that's fine. It's close enough. Good again. Good enough for government work. Well, that's what I said. I said that was probably one of the things that would have done it. That would have obviously been the thing that would have absolutely got me to be like, no, I'll pass on Witchfire. And Epic exclusivity is one of the fastest ways for me to say, fuck your game. Okay. Again, good enough for government work. I'm not going to have the grid or anything here. This is not like a map we'll actually use to play on or anything. But we have that. And then we got to start the next part of it. Which is also going to be tricksy. First on it dips down here. I'm spreading it way too wide already. Okay, hold on. We need to go like this. Is that a bird? Or is it something? Oh, why did I do this to myself? This is... Maybe I shouldn't have started with the Star Fort. Maybe. Just maybe. Shit. It's almost right, but it's not. Because then we have to do... Because we need to have 2 down here. This might still work. Hold on. Doesn't look as pretty as I want. This is more like general concept right now. Here and then over here. Oh shit. this. It's not here. Oh, and then there. God's eye. Holy shit! Who knew? Who knew? Making a star fort is such a pain in the ass on this when you got to freehand everything. Fucking hell. It's just so rough. Okay. Doesn't seem like it. Let's try this. Hold on a second. Maybe node based. Hold on. Okay. All right. Hang on. Wait. We might be able to do it like this. Get rid of all this. Okay. How do I place nodes? I don't want to free draw it. How do we do that? How do we put nodes? It's not working. No, it will look... no, that would actually be incorrect, Tentacle Dude. If you have any society that has good enough engineering, which, again, if you are up to a medieval society, you have good enough fucking engineers. What line? There is no line. Like, what? What line do you want me to click on? The grid does not exist. Normally, the grid does not exist. I was using it for help. Yeah, what nodes? Oh, okay, here we go. Why wouldn't they just call that what it was? Why wouldn't they just call it something else? Okay. It's right here, right? Yep, right here. Okay. So, here to here, that is our location. That's the length. Okay. Okay, I can pull them in by 1. So let's do that. We're going to go from here. Here instead. Okay. Is there a way to get rid of this? That's not fucking helpful. Well, that'll make me feel sick. Hold on. Shit. Okay, so that's how that works. I got it. So if you click and hold, it does that. Alright, there. Nice. Okay, so now I need to... I'm not happy with that. I think 3. Because we need room. We need room to do stuff. So 3. Okay. And from here... I did to myself. Should have known. Okay. It's not going to line up perfectly with itself. Which is fine. That, right? Should be here. Oh, Pythagoras is a dick. Fuck, that's not right. Oh, God. Why? Why can't there just be an 8-pointed one? You know what? I wish I could... You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're gonna cheatsy doodle this. Hold on. Hold on. Fucking super cheatsy doodling it. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. It'll be so much easier. Okay. Man, I did not center this well at all, did I? Yikes. Hang on a second. Well, so we'll use this to center. Because then I can drag terrain. There we go. That's centered. Alright, that's centered. Okay. It's good, again, good enough for government work. Meanwhile, come in here, move area. Make our star smaller. Yeah, for this to work, I gotta make my star smaller. Shit. That's fucking fantastic. That's okay. Again, we've got something that's good enough, so I can shrink this down a little bit. That's not as much of an evil burden. Oh fuck. Made a mistake. Classic mistake. Yeah, see? That's not so bad. Yeah, see, that's not so bad. And look, our stars is looking a little bit nicer, actually. It's a little anemic on this side now, but that's okay. Let me fix that. Not perfect, but good enough. Shit. Damn, I did the same thing over here. I just have that stupid Fireball song stuck in my head now. What the hell? Hey, Brady Wastelander, welcome, welcome. And hey, Elstoop was already here, yeah. How practical and logical would it be to have a city centered within an incredibly dense forest in a fantasy setting? I mean, it depends. Do they have access to water, right? Otherwise, you can absolutely do it. That could just be your natural defense. The forest in and of itself can act as a defensive barrier. All you need to worry about is their access to water and their capability to feed themselves. Otherwise, absolutely have a city in a forest. Well, it depends. Do you want to actually cut down your part of your forest? Keep it. They might actually have where they don't have as good a logging. They might actually have people that are like good at wood shaping, though. Have you ever seen tree farms where they actually do tree shaping. It is genuinely really interesting. Because you can get trees to grow in all different kinds of patterns and everything, which is real nice. I take it back. Actually, they would be pretty good loggers as well, right? I think it'd be a bit of both. Yeah, well, I mean, again, a lot of people don't think about those things, right? They don't think about like your access points. How do you get anything? How do you get supplies in and out? Like, that's it's a lot of stuff that gets overlooked in lots of different media. Okay, there. Okay, save real quick. Welcome, Star Lily. Again, once you start thinking through stuff like the ability to access water and everything, your ability to farm, and feed yourself, things become a lot more natural and easy from there, right? Pain in the butt. We're getting it now. Wish I had like a drawing tablet or a stylus or something. It'd be so much easier, but nope. Old school mouse. Man, going up to that angle is really finicky. Well, I do all kinds. We do variety streams, mostly on games. Today's one of our days. We're just hanging out, talking about the book that I'm writing, one of the mini books. And right now we're making one of the forts. Give me 1 second. I'll bring this up on another screen too. We're making one of the forts that is in this. So let me open up on another map. Okay, here we go. This is Averil. Well, it's in the setting. The world is Averil. This is one of the islands of it. The massive island nation. Think of it about I don't know, maybe 1.5 times the size of Japan. So fairly big island nation. But it has 6 kingdoms on it: Drakor, Stalis, Lagaral, Garradin, Stormrend, and Vitaria. And we are making the star fort that's in Drakor. Again, because Drakor has a lot more advanced knowledge. It has smaller population, but it has advanced knowledge because of Meraxis. So instead of building traditional castles and forts, he jumps straight into star forts as his design for Ebon Scale. Which, the only way to assail or attack a star fort is either do the trench line system, right? Yep, and it is dragon shaped intentionally. So here, let's see if we can do this. There you go. See, so you can see it a little bit better, maybe. Yeah, Meraxis will actually comment that Cortus saw that sense of humor. As if he was always knew it was coming. So he just comments that Quartersoth has a sense of humor. Yeah, I saw you said you make AI music, but that sounds pretty lame, honestly. No offense. I mean, I guess that is kind of offensive, right? But it's just AI music. Let's just talk about you're doing it with like floppy disks, things like that. Those are some of my favorite old school music ones. Ancient meme from long ago. People that did floppy drive stuff. I apologize, Star Lily, but it doesn't sound like difficult or interesting. It just sounds like what I would do with when it comes to AI art, when you want to rapid fire art out. And again, I don't call myself an artist in that regard, but if I want to do like character concepts, I'll just do that. Okay. Thank you, Star. And I'm going to come in here and we're going to there you go, so I can just divorce that. Okay. Oh, thank goodness for stars. Yeah, you have to do something to fix it. That's why whenever I do AR generation, I'll do it real fast, speedy. Again, it's not there to look good or be pretty. It's there to super fire rough shot concepts in place. And then from there, you see, like, okay, this one's salvageable, this one's not salvageable. And then you actually have to start the work. And the work actually begins. That's when you have to start doing all the, like, fixing everything and putting everything together. Like, that guy's got 3 arms, so now we got to edit out that 3rd arm. And that's where you start putting in the actual stuff that makes it more artistic. Now, I'm not saying that I'm definitely not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. But I have seen AI pieces like, you know what, that's good enough. I'll try and save that. No thanks. Hey, Grindus, welcome. Man, that compass. So glad I thought about that using that compass. That compass came in clutch. Also, a star in the middle of the Star Fort is very thematic for Meraxes. Remember, Meraxes, he is the Divine Dragon Emperor, and he has a crown that does not sit on his head, but it hovers a bit up over his head. It's a magical crown, and it looks like it's shaped from stars. So it looks like the night sky above his head. And his guild originally was called Starlight. So having a star motif is very, very appropriate. Oh, that was rough, though. Okay. Cleaned up the water. We're going to clean up the water again and make it an actual, like, water thing. For now, I just need room to put in the, what's it called? Revelins? Revelians? Reveline? I'll type it out for you, guide. Nice. That's what I'm trying to think of the name for. Let's do red, black here with a red outline. Oh shit, you're all the way up on the top. Hold on a second. No, we don't want that. Okay, fuck. Give me this. I'll move you down. Okay. You're at the top again. Alright. So this. I have no idea how to pronounce this word. Ravelin? Ravlin? Ravelin? Oh, Ravelin. Ravelin sounds pretentious enough to be how it's pronounced. Oh. Yeah, Ravelin sounds pretentious enough to be what it is. So now we need to put in the Ravelins. So adds pull our subtract down. Okay. I don't have a handy outline to use now. All right, hang on. I gotta save. I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit. Oh, I angled it off. That's fine. We can fix that. Okay. Yeah, this might be the easiest thing to do first. Man, I wish I had a stylus. Makes it so much easier. That's too close. Too close to the wall. Hold on. Maybe like right here. That's better. Oh, that one's too close. Let's fix this one. Angle it more, you dork. Too close on that side. Better. Oh. I'll look up what the pronunciation for it is. But Ravelin sounds like it, right? That sounds like it's shit. It sounds like it's a bit more frou-frou French, which I have a feeling is where the thing was. Maybe it's Italian though. A little bit more. Well, that one went out there real sharp, didn't it? Hold on. Okay. I mean, they're supposed to be out all the way to the tip. So I guess this one's out too, Lynn. But yeah. No, I mean, see, look at the way it's spelled. God, it's way too close. Okay. All right. Again, good enough for government work. Okay. Let's look up how this is pronounced, shall we? Oh, I fucked up pronunciation that bad? Oh, God.
Ravelin.
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 Ravelin. Ravelin.
Ravelin. Alright. There you go. Ravelin. So, Ravelin. So this is like V-U-H. Ravelin. Alright. Anyways. So, we have this one. And now I need to rebuild the landmass. Although, rebuild now. Okay, hold on. Pull that up more. This is the only one right here. It's decently close. So I'll just to give a hint that there's land up here. Okay. This one was by design. There, I need a bridge. Oh, bridge, bridge, bridge. Give me a bridge. The best bridge you got? Hold on, let's see. Ooh, that's a pretty nice looking bridge, honestly. The core one looks nice. Oh, I definitely need you. Hold on a second. Put you off to the side. Okay. I have frou-frou Elfie bridges. I guess we'll do core. Okay. Yeah. Get that put in real quick too. So we have it. All right. Yeah. Now, actually, layer 0. I can rotate this, right? We can. Good. Okay. All right. And you have the long bridge. Oh, shit. Again, both are made out of wood for a very important reason. Oh. Shit. I can't use it. I need this one. You need to use long bridge here. All right. Yep. Number Ario, Mecha Canal, got it in one. They're made out of wood so they can be burned easily. So this is the only entryway, the main entryway into the Star Fort here. This is so that normal supplies and things like that for day-to-day operation, right? When it's not under siege, you have normal supplies and everything that can be brought in. Of course, they have the massive lake/moat around it. And because it's a lake star fort, you can't really do the trench warfare system, right? So there are two methodologies to take out star forts. The first is trench warfare, right? You actually have to dig little trenches all the way up, crisscrossing around, slowly get up to one of the walls so you can build up things to get onto one of these walls. But because it's a water one, that's going to be a lot more difficult. So what you have to do is you have to build up here, and then you have to start filling in with landfill until you can get close enough, and then wrap your way here. But while you're trying to get here, this one's attacking you, this one's attacking you, and obviously this is attacking you. And these ones can see as well. That's the whole point behind Star Forts, is that there's never a spot that can't be hit by a massive wall segment. The other way to do it is air superiority, right? Well, this is a fantasy setting. Sure, there's magic and stuff like that, but remember, the magic system in mind is a very difficult magic system. But you have air superiority that you can do, but Drakor is the Kingdom of Dragons. Who has air superiority? Drakor does. Drakor wins in that regard. So, really, the whole point behind this is to be completely unassailable. The entire intention behind it is that Fort Ebonscale is supposed to be like the absolute nightmare that no one would ever bother trying to go for, which is what will allow it to protect the capital city so well. I think this one. Actually, it's not bad because these are only supposed to be man wide. So, yoink, yoink. Again, they are suspension bridges. They're actually designed that they can be pulled into the fort itself, so the fort doesn't have to waste them. But, you know, if necessary, they'll just cut the supports and let them fall into the water. Oh yeah, sapping underwater would be a enormous fucking nightmare. And then you have the same thing here. I'll get rid of that now. This one's a bit thicker though, as it should be. But as a last ditch effort, if they have to, they can fall back into the inner side. So now, let us begin the walls. Oh my god, I tell you what, this is going to be interesting because we're going to have to do a lot of this. So remember, there are no walls on this side here. The whole point behind it is if they somehow get into the inner star fort, they get past the Ravelins, and they get into the star fort itself, they will fall back into the inner star fort, and then there's no protection anywhere from the inner star fort either. The inner star can still be just as combat effective. It's the idea of the Bailey system from how you should have fortified towns and castles. If anyone that doesn't know the Bailey system, you have designated areas where, hey, if they take the gatehouse, we can then seal off all of these inner gates, and now they're trapped inside this Bailey, inside the castle walls, but now they're stuck in a Bailey. And they have to take each Bailey to get up there. Yep. Because again, there's no walls or anything here protecting. So if you're an archer that's standing here, or a mage that's standing here, and the enemy has made it inside here, this is all open ground. All of the barracks and base stuff like that is inside the inner star fort. All of this out here is like the training fields and where they'll run all the soldiers around for exercise and everything. All of this is open ground. Like, you might have tents and things like that, but tents aren't going to provide you cover. That'll provide you concealment. So then... No, not cover at all. Again, the whole point behind it is that it's fabrics. Things like that. You can't make cover out here. Same thing here. Hold on. I'll show you. If you take a Ravelin... What a way to pronounce that thing. Okay. It's like this. Like this. Okay, right? And then for demonstration purposes... Where are you at? 119. There we go. Okay. Alright. So say you take one of the Ravelins, right? This is it. This is the entire wall. There is no wall on this backside. There's nothing whatsoever on this backside. So if you were to manage to take boats here and take one of these Ravelins, this would either be cut or already be pulled back. So this is all open water here. You have water still on all sides, and there's no cover on this whatsoever. Right? You have no cover from any of these walls. That's the whole point behind having these. You have these for additional vantage points where, like, this is so steep that it can't effectively hit this area. So you have a ravelin here, and you have a ravelin here, and those can hit this area effectively. But right here where it's at the point, you don't have as much cover. You don't have as many guns, or in this case, you can't fit as many mages or archers there, right? Deep. You want the water to be exceptionally deep. Like, it doesn't have to be. Even a little bit of water, even if it's only 10 foot deep, that's still quite a lot, right? That's still that's a pretty big amount of water. Here, because Drakor has the usage of magecraft, and they can use golems and things like that, this is incredibly deep. So this basically would be like a cliff that it suddenly just drops into the water, and this water is 40 feet deep. That way, it takes a long time to fill. If you're going with the landfill method, it's going to take an exceptionally long time to landfill it. But again, they have the capabilities of advanced magecraft and everything. Which, that's kind of what Drakor's advantage is on everything. Because remember, Drakor is this little country right here. I say little intentionally so. I need to change these out, but they don't have cities here. They become cities later. But at the start, they only have 2 towns and 7 villages. And an 8th village pops up here when the Saharidan allies with them. You could have, depending on how competent of mages you are, you could have somebody try to dig underneath, right? Now, again, Fort Ebonscale is like the first of this Star Fort, and it's specifically designed to protect Dragon's Reach. To get to Dragon's Reach, you have to go past Ebonscale, or you have to somehow go over the mountains or dig through the mountain to get to it. Remember, Dragon's Reach is inside of the mountain. It is literally inside of it. And again, keeping with the star theme, with Merax's original guild being Starlight and everything. Yep, it has fish in it. So, what this would look like, realistically speaking, what this would look like, realistically speaking, is you would have... What? It's not working. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Okay. So there would be some, like, houses and farmsteads nearby that are basically just there to do, like, subsistence farming, right? And they're going to give a lot of their crop to the fort itself. But what that also means is when the fort sees enemies coming, they'll harvest what they can, burn the fields, and then they'll have their entire harvest and everything inside. While they're inside, they can still have fish and things like that, including in here, in the inner segment. This entire inner segment it's hard to imagine scale, right? But this inner segment is still really fucking deep water. They have lots of fish in this one as well. Now, this is not a, like, they can't stay here forever unless there was like 5 people, right? Unless there's got like 5 people and they can live here forever inside this, because there's also, again, it's not big though. We need to like shrink this way down. It'd be kind of like this. In the very center. There's a little bit of crop stuff in the center. Not much though. Mostly what's in the center are your barracks houses and storage facilities, things like that. And then Devrick Ebonscale's office. I think this is a little too big, honestly, for it. But yeah, so we would have like, get rid of bridge. I think a red fortified building would look better. You have like here would be like Devrick Ebonscale's offices. And we can have like, don't do random images, please. Like bunkhouse, bunkhouse. And then, do we have anything that looks good? Pull this down a bit more. These are storage. Stuff along the way, right? So it'd be kind of like that, right? Not exactly, but it's kind of like this. So you have where all of them can live at. You have storage that includes seeds and grains, things like that. It's basic crop storage. You would have here, you would plant like citrus foods and things like that. Meanwhile, they can fish in here if they have to, or they can fish out here because this is a massive like lake. And then, of course, extending out further, you'll have like the houses and things like that that'll be taking care of these farmlands, so farmers around. Part of the deal that Drakor has with its citizens, because Drakor very much is worried about its population. Remember, it is a small kingdom compared to how big these other kingdoms are and how established these other kingdoms are, right? Small kingdom, doesn't have as much population. Say like grand total at the start of the book, probably like 100,000 people at the start of the book. Not a lot of people. A lot in terms of a video game, because remember, Drakor was not a part of this world before. It was part of Lost Frontiers. And that was when they were on the planet Veridon. And then they got plucked, the entire kingdom got plucked and slapped in here as part of the Test of the Gods. So they have a very small population compared to everyone else. Everyone else has massive populations, they can field massive armies. Drakor not only has the natural barrier with the forest, and they originally had the fire flame around it. And remember, this takes about like 6 hours to go along this forest path. To get from this road, go along the path to Everwood, takes about 6 hours. Big, big forest. Very dense, very easy to get lost in. Not easy to navigate. So, big, big place. And that's 6 hours when you're taking into account like horses and things like that, not vehicles. Obviously, if you could move 60 miles per hour, you're going to get through this. This would be much shorter distance. But you have to think of it in terms of horses and carts and carriages, and including hand carts, right? People navigating through the forest on foot. Yeah, so basically you're spending I don't know, I said 6 hours. I might extend that maybe. Maybe we should make it a bit bigger. But you're basically spending half a day traveling through the forest. Okay. All right. So again, what Drakor makes up for in its small population, massive in terms of a game, small in terms of a reality, is that they have the best magecraft in the world. Like, hands down. They don't know it at first. They're incredibly cautious at first. That's like 200 pages in the book. They're still, like, being wary. Once the Battle of the Gods Fall happens, which the Battle of Gods Fall takes place right here. So these are the hills, the hilly terrain and everything that they use to take on Lageral's army. So here's Lageral. Lageral sends in an army of 15,000 strong. And they were waiting for it. You have oh, good God, I can't remember his name. I don't use him much in early parts of the book. He's going to become more important later in the book. But you have Steeljaw. And Steeljaw is a Wolverine, which is basically what it sounds like. Remember, in means being in the dragon language. So Wolverine, he's a werewolf. And he is one of the heroes of Drakor. So what they do is during the Battle of God's Fall, they have Steeljaw waiting in the forest. So once the battle turns against Lageral and they start running, they start abandoning their positions, Steeljaw runs to the forest and he starts picking them off. He'll either kill them or he'll bite them. And if he bites them, he can just leave them be. They'll turn into werewolves eventually, and then they'll go on the hunt as well. Or, if he bites them and then performs the Alpha's mark, he can actually call on them magically to come to him, which is what he does. He only gets 15 people, but it's because all 15 of those he bites and he does the Alpha's mark on them. So when it happens, when Drakor goes on the counteroffensive, they have him do the Alpha's call, and that causes all 15 of those guys that have become werewolves to make their way to Drakor, and then he can command them. So they start attacking these villages and dragging people off. That's the first part of it, the terror campaign, right? They start pushing more of the civilians away towards the fortresses. These fortresses that were originally designed to defend against Stalis or defend against Garridan. They attack these villages. That pushes the refugees away. And it starts putting more burden on these lands. Once these lands start getting more burdened, he has the dragons destroy the bridges. They start destroying as many roads and settlements, burning as many fields as possible, because they're trying to do economic warfare. Rather than getting a lot of their people involved, because Drakor can't field a big army, they're going to destroy Lageral through the weight and burden of needing to keep its people fed. So eventually what happens is Drakor will take half, air quotes, it's technically like a third of the kingdom, but this will all become Drakor territory. All of this here, up to this river. Eventually, that is what will happen when Lageral capitulates. They just cannot. They cannot taking on the dragons and everything. They can't taking on all the mages and stuff like that, and feeding all their people who are running out and starving. Then you have here. This is what kind of seals Lageral's fate. This is Bez. Fuck. What's it called? I gotta reopen up the thing. Oh, shit. Please hold. I did it again. begins with a B, but I wish I could remember the name of the city, right? Okay, I know exactly where to jump, though, to get to it. Bezervin. Bezervin. Good God. I'll just put a note here. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put a note on it so I can remember that for later. Okay. Oh, I had the note there already for that exact reason. Damn it. Oh, I had it there for that reason. Shit. That's funny. If I had just hit the note tab, that would have reminded me of it. Of fucking course. Of course. Ah, such is the way of life. Yeah, so essentially what happens is that cultists start taking over because the gods' fall took place and 2 gods are now dead. The heavens are in panic. Right? 2 gods are now dead. They've been cast down from the heavens. Like, their entire celestial domain is gone. All of those souls that believed in them are just missing. They're just gone. All of the heavenly hosts that were part of those 2 gods' domains, they're all dead. Like, it's not good. So while they're in turmoil, the demons start whispering to people more and more because they want to break through. So there are like 4 factions technically. And you have the normal heavens, who have been there all along in Averil. You have the evil gods that have always been there all along. Then you have Drakor. The Drakor Pantheon is coming in. So they're brand new, and they're coming in basically bullying their way in. But, you know, they view all of the heavens as enemies anyway, so they don't give a shit. And then you have the demons. The demons, the devils, the monsters that live under. And so it's kind of like no side is really on each other's side. So there's kind of like fragmenting things, where even parts of the heavens, there are some gods that are good aligned, right? They're good gods, but they don't see eye to eye with each other. So like, this god can't stand this god for this reason, and this reason, whatever. They've had this stuff in their past, so they'll never ally with each other, but they'll ally with these other ones. So there, you have small little like cliques forming now that the gods themselves are starting to take the brunt. They're starting to take the heat. Oh boy, this is gonna take a long while to fill all this in. We should do that. Looks a little bit nicer. Yeah. I think it looks nicer. Kind of slot it in like that. And put that up there like that. Okay. Oh. Yeah, sorry, I got a little carried away, but I don't know, I just think I find stuff like that interesting. I like, when it comes to the worlds and settings that I do, I don't just want, like, everything is won through strength of arms, right? It's another part of what makes Drakor weird and different. Most kingdoms in the setting, in Averil, they have the traditional system of how you raise an army and men to battle, right? So, let's get rid of the node system. So say Lagerol calls its banners, right? Lagerol calls its banners. Lagerol does not have a traditional standing army. What we would think of as a standing army today. They don't have a military, right? What they do is Lagerol says, we're going to war, So they'll get the earls, the dukes, the viscounts, the counts, the barons with the baronsmen. They're the ones that have the individualized territory. So the count, who was right here, he will then call to his people, and he will have them bring all of their troops, all of their household guards, all of their soldiers. They'll fill their ranks in by drafting peasantry, things like that in the military, and then they march forward. They don't have, like, there's no Lagerol military, as it were, right? There's no Stalis military. There's no Garridan military. You are with a household of each of these nations, each of these kingdoms. Drakor is different. Because Drakor has a population problem, again, they only have 100,000 people at the start of this book, so they have a big population problem. Anyway, that's 100,000 spread amongst all of the races that are in Drakor. So that's spread amongst the Dwarren, the Drakine, the Hagen. I can't really say Elgin because there's only one elf. And there's one Wolverine, so there's one werewolf at the start. But, again, 100,000 spread between three different, and the humans are the least populous of Drakor. There's a lot of them, but, you know, they're not obviously the majority. The majority are the Drakine, followed very closely by the Dwarren. So you have the kobolds and the dwarves are the main population of Drakor. And then I didn't count any of the dragons, but you have dragons that are part of Drakor. Again, Drakor is the kingdom of dragons. We're about 28 kilometers. What's kilometers in actual speak? 17.3984 miles. Yeah, I think that's too small. I might make that a bit bigger. It'll expand out the island more as well. Let's make that... Let's make that 40.2 kilometers or 25 miles. I think that'd be a lot better for it. Yep, dwarves and kobolds. And again, because dwarves and kobolds are the ones most likely and most well suited to what the kingdom wants. That's why Dragon's Reach is inside of a mountain. Most people, most humans, only some humans live in Dragon's Reach. Right? More so are coming in now in the book because King Meraxus has made some changes, right? Both. There's all different kinds. So you have Quiteki, Master Quiteki, who is the master of the water mages. He is like a Quetzalcoatl. So Quiteki is like a Quetzalcoatl dragon. You have Aogwang and Zhao that are Eastern dragons. Zadagor, Raxus, Dagrix, Gadix are all more of your Western style dragons. They're all different kinds. Yeah, that seems pretty fitting, Grynus. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fitting for this. It's supposed to be a huge forest. Remember, it hasn't been touched by any of the kingdoms because of the massive firewall. That also would make Saharadin bigger too, which is what I want. I want Saharadin to be massive. The Saharadin is a massive bog and swamp that is fed by many, many rivers. So this is like a huge swampland, which makes it a perfect natural barrier to keep Vitaria away from them. So, Meraxus basically forces the lizardmen tribes of the Saharadin to ally with him. I say forces. He basically tells them that he'd much rather have them as allies, but he needs this natural barrier. Like, he needs to make sure his kingdom is secure, so he needs the barrier. So Drakor is roughly the size of Poland. This is 25 miles. Oh God. Do I have a ruler? No. Oh, sure, it's a ruler. It's big. It's big. Like I said, this whole land is supposed to be like 1.5 times the size of like Japan. It's big, 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 big island. Very big island. Actually, what's a good way to put that? It might be a better comparison for it. Okay, let's get rid of you, you, and you. We don't want those. Let's do. Let me grab Poland real quick. Maybe Papua New Guinea might be a better example. So here's what we're looking at here, chat. So this is Poland. This is Japan. I'm gonna pull Papua New Guinea up here. Oh, Papua. Oh, what's the other half of it called? Is it just all Indonesia? Son of a bitch. I don't know why. I thought Indonesia was like more like this. I didn't realize it actually extended out in such a weird way. Well, you learn something new in geography every day. That's funny. Yeah, you're not kidding. A lot of islands. Look at that. Okay, so maybe that was a bad example for these. I can also get rid of these. Hold on. Maybe. Maybe Sweden, actually. Sweden might work. Hold on. And grab you. Mew. Never mind. Fuck. Oh, wait. Mongolia is right there. Hold on. I could like turn this and twist it, you know what I mean? Be like, yeah. You know, I'd say Mongolia. It'd be like I'd say that'd be what the equivalency would be for this, right? Say Mongolia in size. Honestly, kind of vaguely the shape too. Vaguely, right? It's one of those vagues where you've been drinking all night and you're squinting. Yeah, so big place. Anyways, yeah. So Drakor doesn't have population, so their whole fighting style is trying to come up with more creative ways to defeat their enemies, right? That's Meraxus in general. He he can do a show of force. He can bring army against army if he needs to, or if he wants to. Because there are times when having your standing army prove themselves is beneficial, because then it will kowtow others who become less confident. If your standing army can beat another standing army, that's obviously going to shape morale quite heavily. It's what Dagrix was operating under when he was commanding. Dagrix is the Archduke of Drakor. It's what Dagrix was operating under when he was commanding the Battle of the Gods Fall. So his whole idea was like, we're going to funnel them into an advantageous position for us. We're going to have the mages ambush them from the wheat fields, the grain fields, while they're charging towards our army. Again, their army was tiny. Drakor's army at this battle was tiny. Lageral's army was 15,000 strong. It was a big, big army coming for them. Had priests, cavalry, knights, footmen, lines of foot, lines of archers, and it had a few mages of its own. This is kind of what signified to Meraxus that Drakor has an overwhelming advantage, not just because they have dragons and all the other kingdoms don't, but they have an overwhelming advantage in magic. It was the Battle of the Gods Fall that kind of sealed that. Because obviously, Lageral is going to send war wizards, right? They're going to send battle mages, people that can actually use powerful spells to try to help their army. And at the Battle of the Gods Fall, they were completely outmatched. Drakor's mages, even its most basic mages, or what they would consider basic mages, were far more competent and far more capable than Lageral's war wizards and battle mages. It got to the point where Lageral's mages were actually some of the first units to break from the field of battle, because they're not stupid, right? The mages are looking around at this. They're seeing all of these Drakor mages stand up in the wheat fields, and they're firing off spells, devastating spells. The army that's pushing up the middle is now being bombarded with these massive urns, these pots filled with boiling oil that are being thrown over the hill. And the war wizards of Lageral get to see that there are golems that are picking up these massive urns that are sitting on top of these huge bonfires behind the hill, being tended to by one of the dragons. But they don't know that yet. They think these are like lizardmen. One of them actually insults Dagrix when he sees Dagrix by saying that, so you're supposed to be a dragon, I expected so much more of you. I guess all of the tales and histories were just nothing but fancies of mummers and bards. You know, that's pretty fucking insulting. But, to be fair, again, this is over 100 years after the gods started the crusade against dragonkind. So, most people probably haven't even heard that dragons exist, unless they're, either devout or, they have some reason to be in a position of governance. Those that will have heard it, they have only ever seen them in storybooks and, of tales and things like that. So, they're expecting these massive... Dagrix is huge, by the way, but he's in his bipedal form for the battle. He doesn't want to give away what it is, because having the dragons fly around is like a good psychological weapon that he wants to use later. But Dagrix is 8'5". He is massive. But the Count just thinks he's a big lizard. You're a big lizard that has horns and spikes on you and stuff like that. I'm not impressed. And that battle did not go well for them. Again, it was an absolute massacre until two gods, Sangris and Missandra? Oh no. Oh no, what did I fuck it up? Hold on. It's always her name that I fuck up. Shit, where do I have it? It's always her name. And it's funny, I just have to do Sangris and, because they're so intimately tied together. So I just have to type in Sangris and I'll get her name, like, whenever Google Docs responds, because again, the book is nearing 400 pages. It's getting slow. Yeah, Missandra, I got it right. Oh my god. It's always her name. She's the goddess of nature, and it's always her name. I can never remember it. It like memory worms or memory holes itself. It's so weird. I don't understand why it happens. Oh, anyways, back to spoilers. More spoilers. Missandra. Yeah, there you go. So Sangris and Missandra show up to the battle, and that's kind of what starts turning the tide back against Drakor until Meraxus appears on the battlefield. And he is he felt the utmost indignation that gods would get involved in a conflict that was between kingdoms, that the gods themselves would descend from the heavens and try to destroy Drakor. So he had a moment of what's the way to put this? Oh, I know a good video to highlight this. I will apologize to headphone users immediately, but headphone users, this is your warning. All right? The joke being here, by the way, as well in the comment section of this video, which would also be the same joke I would make for Meraxus in this moment, was he said calmly. So here you go. Brace yourself. Oh god. Oh man, my own ears started ringing. Oh god. Ugh. Yeah, that's T Common Shark, his channel. He does all kinds of videos like that, and I believe one of the top comments is yeah, there we go. Lamadar said calmly. And I would say the exact same thing for Meraxus in that situation. This is definitely one of those moments when he gets to the battle. Yeah, he does not take it well that there are two gods there that are now killing his kind. And remember, kind is kindred or kin in dragon. So when he sees them, the gods they're specifically targeting the dragons that are in the battle, he does not take it well, and hence why they call it the Battle of the Gods Fall. Which brings me nicely to I've been working on it more and more. I have an updated version. Have an updated version of the poem, which I don't know what to call it. What would you guys call it? If it's a series of lines that do rhyme with each other, but it's more to herald the coming of something. Would we still consider that a poem? I don't know if there's a better term for it, right? What's a what would be a better term for it? It's not a hymnal, even though it has religious connotations. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Man, I have gone all over the place here. An epic, maybe? Maybe. So here, I'll do the, I'll say the poem, or the epic, and let me know, right? Maybe a sonnet? Alright, here we go. So we're gonna do it. This is, this heralds, an arrival. So this is also going to be used in any of my other books and settings. If you see the start of this, that's kind of your first big clue of things to come. But here we go. The heavens held their breath, for two gods met their death. The gods a poor decision against new God freshly risen. Mine eyes have held and seen the gods split between. The heavens stood broken as a new dawn spilled open. With tooth, tail, and claw, he did consume them in his maw. The sky surely does bleed as the dragon came to feed. And he let loose a mighty cry that split open the very sky. His earfins splayed to listen, the sound that heralded his christen. Voices cried to him and screamed, the dragon god demands their freed. Bow your head if want to please, hail Meraxus, the dragon god of all he sees. So that's the entirety of it. And again, I don't know what to call it. I don't know if I would just call it a poem, because again, if it's the whole thing of if you see bits and pieces of it, you know what's coming, right? It kind of becomes an integral part to him, and this is kind of recounting the God's fall and what happened during the God's fall. Going to order a great new book on Amazon about gender dysmorphia, but in the review section it said customers also bought a stool of rope. I cleared my cart. Well, and you know, it is what happens when you have a completely made up, non-existent mental condition that gets pushed onto people. Of course, when they realize that it doesn't fix anything because there was no mental condition there, they've been groomed into it. And that's where a lot of them go. They spiral into self-destructive tendencies. That's why they constantly need affirmation and to be reaffirmed because, again, they live in a fairy tale, a fantasy. It doesn't exist. It's not real. It was never real. That's why they're so desperate for that constant reinforcement, because they need it. Okay. And then I have a section I'll read to you guys as another preview, but we'll wait for that. We can keep discussing things here. Yeah, exactly. That's how it happens, Cheddar. That's how it happens. Alright. Back to here. Nope, I'm going to make sure not on there. It'll take me back to the page already. Okay, so. It's a basic premise. I guess I'll just work on this more while we have a discussion here. Nice, that's so much easier. Okay, so I can just do one and then we can copy paste them in. Oh, thank goodness. And they'll be at the right orientation and angle and everything. Actually, what is this supposed to be facing? Because I feel like these are supposed to be battlements that you stand on. Then this is the wall, right? With the crenelles and crenellations along it. But what if this is your walkway, and these are your crenelles? Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking they are the exact opposite. This is the one that makes me think so. Look, see how these look like they're the dips and the crenelles? An ode or an elegy? Let me look at that real quick. A lyric poem in the form of an address to a particular subject, often elevated in style or manner and written in varied or irregular meter. Well, it's not really irregular because it follows the A B rhyme style all the way down, right? Or technically A B B C C D D all the way down. Is an elegy. Poem of serious reflection, typically a lament for the dead. That could actually work rather well, because remember, that was it was a poem about the God's fall. So yeah, so that could actually work very well. Alright, this is the way I think it's supposed to be. Yikes. Big yikes. Let's get that lined up well first. Okay, 299. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So now that looks all nice and neat. The only thing that's not going to look nice and neat is going to be these corners, but that's fine. Whip you around. And we will whip you around. Okay. Oh, I guess this is the other thing I should mention here with the Star Fort's design. The way that it's designed as well, it slopes, right? So these are up higher in the air, right? They stick up out of the water heavily, and then you have the walls on top. The walls aren't very tall here. They get taller as they get towards these. These are where it's lower in elevation. So it's the same thing for our ravelins. So same thing for our ravelins here. They are the tallest up here, and then they slope down. That again, that's to give you no cover whatsoever from anything here. Your elevation as you get closer to these walls is lower, right? So it's just more defensive capabilities that the Star Fort has. Okay. Yeah, not bad. A little bit off here, but that's fine. Might be able to cheatsy doodle that a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of cheatsy doodling. Okay, so let's see V over here. Get this in position. Okay. just take a little bit of time. It's okay. No. Oh, my goodness sakes. And when we do our actual like legend, I'll probably put a legend prompt here and point to like Ravelin's 8-pointed star fort, inner star fort, so like that. We'll have lines that can be drawn to it. And the Ravelin ones aren't going to be as important or as nice, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay. That's a bit better. This be better up or down? I think down, because then we can do that. Kind of. Again, so you have the Drakine. They're kobolds. It would be the way a lot of people would associate with them. But they're not kobolds in the sense of the way D&D would have them, right? They are much more dragon-like in their appearance. They aren't like dog-lizard hybrid things. And depending on the setting too, Drakine can be full-on look like the bipedal dragons when they're in their bipedal form in this book. But it depends on what rule set Severus has set for that universe, right? In this universe that Meraxes finds himself in, it's faith shapes reality. Belief can shape reality. So that's how he ascended to godhood so quickly. Drakine in this setting and in Sakara, although in Sakara they're called Drakmulkine, so M-U-L, so D-R-A-K-M-U-L-K-Y-N-E, Drakmulkine. And that says to be dragons of the small kindred is essentially what Drakmulkine means. Because Drakine in Sakara look like the bipedal dragons. Dragons in Sakara do not they can't shape change into a bipedal form. They are just their true form the whole way through. Cordysoth is the only one that will violate that rule, but again, it will make sense why he violates that rule. Yeah. So, kobolds or Drakine, they are much more dragon-like, just small. Some of them will develop wings, not all of them. But the one thing that all Drakine do, and Drakine that get wings, they're praised because they get to do the favorite thing of all Drakine, which is Drakine like to climb on things. It becomes a common complaint from the dwarves and the humans, so the Dwarven and the Hagen, and eventually the Elgin and the Urhagen will complain about it as well. Drakine don't feel comfortable in a den or warren or a city, any kind of city, town, or village, if they can't climb over everything. They like to climb on things. Very handy for Dracoran because they actually like to have the Drakine climb on them to help clean their scales and things like that and help take care of them when they're in their true forms. But Drakine, when they build their cities and towns, they don't just build them like... They're not just built traditionally. So, hold on a second. Let's do this. I'm going to break out the paint.net. Oh boy. Here we go. So let's say you have your traditional housing, right? There's a traditional house here. Maybe a next door neighbor has like a bit of a nicer house, so theirs is a bit bigger. You know, maybe there's another house here. It's a little longer. And another one here that's bigger and maybe has a domed roof or something, right? Yeah, so just traditional houses. The way that Drakine build their houses is that these aren't good enough. So they'll have on the sides of all of the buildings, there are handholds. There are basically ladders that are built into every single one of their buildings. And this is basically we're just taking a side on look, right? So they'll have ladders built in every one of their buildings, and all of their buildings will interconnect with each other. So they'll have like walkways that'll go from here. They'll have like a ladder system that'll go up here. They'll have walkway that'll go across between the big buildings. So a way to look at this, let's say like this is a building, right? So they have ladders that go up the sides of the buildings. They have walkways that go across it. Drakine feel most comfortable in settings like this because they feel like they're protected. Because they can hear the little pitter-patter and little claw of other Drakine that are wandering around at all hours of the day. And it's kind of like it's a soothing thing. They associate it with there's activity, there are people around, right? So they view it as the safety in numbers. Because Drakine are small. They are about, on a 6 foot tall man, let's say, they would come up underneath your pectorals. That would be like their maximum height. So they are smaller. So they like having lots and lots of numbers. Like having a lot of them. They have an inbuilt curiosity and association with Dracorin just because of how closely they look together, and they view Dracorin as like, if we buddy up with them, like that, the big Dracorin can protect all of us little Drakine. So we'll do chores for him. We'll help store the treasures and safeguard things. We'll do all the like little stuff like that. But remember, Drakine will also try to go out of their way to not pester the Dracorin, which can lead to huge problems. So, Meraxis brings it up a lot with like Kazex, for example. Kazex has has Drakine, but she doesn't do anything with them. She doesn't associate with them. She doesn't really talk with them other than to like give an order real quick every now and then. But she doesn't talk with them. She doesn't get to know them or anything like that. They're just there near her den. And they will come and they'll give her some food every now and then, but they try to stay out of her way because they don't want to risk earning her wrath. And it's the same with all Drakine. Unless the Dracorin goes out of its way to start interacting with the Drakine will just be in the vicinity. They'll help, they'll give little tributes here and there, they'll bring some food. But they want to stay out of the Dracorin's way because they don't want to make it mad. They don't want to get sent away, they don't want to get chased off. They're more comfortable being nearby Dracorin, so they want to stay near the Dracorin. They don't want to do anything to like risk that safety, that comfort that they feel. But it also means that the Drakine won't advance. Instead of building buildings, they'll keep their normal little huts. They'll keep little burrows dug out all around inside the underground caves and stuff. They won't start building things. What Gaddix does for Kazex is Gaddix starts interacting with Kazex's Drakine, which makes the Drakine very, very happy. Because now they feel like, oh, he wants to talk to us. He wants to do things with us. He's interested in what we do. So that's when they start shifting over. They start becoming, they want to talk to the Dracoran more. So they want to start doing things for the Dracoran more. So it becomes this self-beneficial cycle where because Gaddix is talking to the Drakine in turn decide we're going to help Gaddix, right? We'll come in and Gaddix will help clean your scales. We'll do food. We'll start building things like we'll start making little statues in your honor and things like that and bringing them. He actually brings up as one of his first interactions. I have to block this. Let's grab this real quick. Where is it? Was it this one? Alright. I'm going to do two little previews here for the stream. So, let's see. Where do we want to start this preview? Oh, here we go. Alright. Kazek slowly rolled over in her den, her eyes opening as they adjusted to the small bit of light within her surroundings. Gaddix was nowhere to be seen. With a quick start, she lurched up and looked around the room, her eyes darting to her treasure. Did he take some for himself? Where was he? He must have taken advantage of her slumber. So many thoughts and scenarios ran through her mind when she heard his deep voice coming from just outside the den. She started to slink over stealthily towards the entryway of her personal quarters and listened in on him. I am sure she would be very pleased, little Drakine, though you must admit the statue you made is not that flattering. Oh, fear not. I'm not punishing you, merely pointing out that it does not capture her beauty fully. Yet take heart. I will accept this and present it to her on your behalf, but there is a price you must pay in turn. I want you to work at your carving every day. I want you to practice as much as you can, study your fellow Drakine, make statues of them, learn to carve intricate mosaics. A year from now, this very day, you will present another statue to her beauty. That day I will show you this old statue, and you will see how far you have come. You will see with your own eyes how you have improved, and that will drive you to ever greater heights. You have already shown drive and initiative, little Drakine. Now you must take that drive and put it to the grindstone. You must shape and hone it, gain mastery of it, until no one could ever doubt your dedication and skill. Do you accept my terms? So essentially, Gaddix is, because of his initial interactions, this is not his first interactions with the Drakine, but because his initial interactions, he's starting to get the Drakine that want to be more. They have more curiosity, they have more drive, they have more desire. So because of his initial interactions, this Drakine, whose name is Sevik, he shows up with a statue that he made. And again, it's not great. It's much more like a fetish or like an idol. It's not really like a statue. It's kind of like slapdash, kind of put together. He did his best to like knock away the rocks and everything to make what's in the vague approximation of a dragon. But it doesn't look like, you wouldn't know this was supposed to be Kazek's at all. Right? You would have no clue that this was supposed to be Kazek. It just looks vaguely like a dragon. But Gaddix is now pushing him with his drive. He's pushing him to, alright, you've shown initiative. Now I want you to hone your talents and skills. I want you to become more than what you are now. And even just a year from now, he's going to show him the same statue to show him just how much he's improved. Let's see. Well, that's because that's because Gaddix comes from Meraxis. Meraxes doesn't like beating around the bush. He can't stand the petty civilities of it. He feels much more it's better to be blunt and honest, even if it hurts, and to tell the person, like, this is why I'm telling you this. Because I believe you're better than that. So, like, when he meets other Dracoran that are hiding in the world, in Averil, when he finds them out in the world, a lot of times he'll talk about how weak they are. But he's not saying it as, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not insulting you. I'm pointing out a fact. Were you to join me, were you to learn, were you to get stronger, I think you yourself would be shocked about how weak you are in this moment, when you can be so much greater. You will look back and realize how much stronger and more powerful you are. Again, so he gets it honestly from because of Meraxes. Meraxes is that way, and because Meraxes literally shaped Gadix, he has the same kind of mentality in a lot of situations. Same thing with Dagrix, same thing with Devrick Ebonscale, same thing with Fedoris. A lot of the other dragons can be a little more like a little more subtle about it. The one time I will say this, Meraxes will use wordplay and tricks when it comes to lesser races, but when he talks to Drakine or Dracoran, he's much more honest and blunt because he knows how much more they can be. But when he's talking to the Hagen or the Dwarven or the Elgin or the Urhagen or the Wolverine, he's much more blunt and just like, well, here's the honest truth. It's the same thing he does for the Lizardmen. Like he tells the Lizardmen, I would love to have an alliance with you, but if I can't have an alliance with you, I will just subjugate the entire Saharadan. I need it for a land barrier for my kingdom. Like, you have no say in this. You can either come willingly and be an ally, and we will help you and assist you. We will give you tools, teachings. We will help train you in warriors and how to use metals and enchant them. Or you can decline. We can have a battle right here and now. I will kill as many of you as I can, along with the other Dracoran that are here. We're all going to slaughter as many of you as can, and we'll subjugate the damn thing if we have to. That's just the way Meraxes is. But here we go. This will be the last little preview for it. Okay. Ooh. No, that's, well, Meraxes would be pleased to hear that, but that's his whole point of his domain of worship. A lot of the question that he asks of his followers and believers and everything is, what does it mean to be a dragon? Like, that's what he would say to humanity. For those that know, like, Dracoran properly, it's the same thing as, what does it mean to be a Dracoran? What does it mean to be a dragon? What does it mean? And that gets into his philosophy of the three types of people: the strong, the weak, and the wicked. But that goes into a whole thing like that'll be a whole thing in and of itself. The theology of Meraxes and his pantheon that he's creating. All right, here we go. Here's another preview for it. Lord Regent Jetter stared out the window, feeling the weight of history itself on his shoulders. The loss of Everwood had not hindered the kingdom in any way he could have thought. It was like tales from wandering minstrel, the childhood stories he clung to as a boy. Standing before the might of dragons, he did not shy away. He had taken heed of their words and watched the fate that befell Lagerol. A war unseen in any of the lands, unwritten in any of the histories, foretold in no hymnals or prophecies. Lagerol fell to the Dragon King as if it were a father seizing the wild fancies of a child. In that moment, the regent had realized the world was forever changed. He could see no path from which Garridan could stand against the Dracor. Shit, I'm glad I did read this out. Stand against Dracor. He had ceased his need to rationalize the deaths of Sangris and Missandra, dismissing it for the infantile plea that it was. 2 gods were now dead. This was a cold hard fact. The Dragon King of Drakor slew them. This, too, was a cold hard fact. A bitter pill once swallowed may still churn the stomach and set to tipsy that which was hale and hearty. Yet only a fool would deny reality itself for the fleeting comforts of a delusion. Lord Regent Jeddar was many things, so many said in closed doors and out of ear, but he was no fool. He was not some jester to dance and make merry for the amusement of others. He was a devout man of his faith who took his oaths as sacred. An oath held most dear to him was his duty to the people of his lands. He was no Duke Vedic, nor even Count Strahler. He had not armies, bannermen, nor knights to his name. He had been a close friend and advisor to King Farkas Wildra. He had a small viscountcy. Oh my God, that one's a difficult word. I apologize. It's Viscount, but I keep wanting to do Viscus because V-I-S for Vi. Oh, blame English. He had a small viscountcy to tend, with but a humble town and sparse villages, a few handfuls of household guard to keep the peace, and a fortified estate. He had little in the way of ambitions, and did his best to provide wise counsel to his dearest friend. King Farkas trusted him above all others, and kept him close at hand. He took to his duties as firmly as the hogs to their feed. Even his devotion and dedication could not save his friend from the assassin's blade. The nobles did not care for him, yet none could find ill repute, and thus he was the default to take regency. A man of low ambition, devout to a fault, and fanatically in keeping his word. Fanatical. Fuck. God, man, I'm glad I did preview this out for you guys, so I found a couple of these little rough spots. There was only one thing he could do at the dawn of new histories. He clasped his hand across his chest, bent himself at the knee, and lowered his head against the slanted sill of the window. His voice did not raise, nor did he hide it away. He simply did what he needed and prayed. Olander, guide my weary soul. Alright, there is your preview for the day. And hopefully you guys enjoyed said preview. Oh, absolutely. This is the first draft. Again, I have to get to the point where the story ends and then go back through and decide where I'm going to cut it for each of the books. Like, this thing's going to expand out quite significantly. We're already 400 pages. It's going to get much longer. There are so many things that need to happen still. So much to go. I will post up what I have here in the Discord as well for the preview. Yeah. And let's switch over to the screen. Oh my goodness. And what a day, what a day. Yeah, Chad, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Remember, tomorrow we will be watching a Jackie Chan movie, which will be Wheels on Meals, not Meals on Wheels. Wheels on Meals. I have never seen it before, but it has been highly recommended. So hopefully it'll be pretty good. I'm hopeful for it. It's been highly recommended amongst people recommending Jackie Chan movies. It is in like the top 3 almost all the time. So I'm curious on it. I want to see it. I like Jackie Chan movies a lot. We'll probably do Rumble in the Bronx at some point and Drunken Master as well. I might shift down Spooktober a little bit. I don't really have any spooky movies I really want to watch this Spooktober. You know? We're just going to do the classics like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. That one's a Spooktober tradition, right? We always have to do Tucker and Dale vs. Evil for Spooktober. Yeah, in the meantime, though, chat, hope you guys take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. I will be back on Monday. And hopefully, yeah, with a better sleep schedule. It's been rough for these last 2. It's funny because the one right before that, I had an amazing night's sleep. It's been rough. Yeah. Bye-bye for now, everyone. Goodbye. Bye bye. Bye bye.